I agree. The Crane family must be protected no matter what it takes. Even if it means sacrificing Sheridan. I'll keep you posted. Ivy.
Just what are you and Alistair up to, Julian? How do you intend to sacrifice Sheridan?
You know, after all these years, I never doubted that that night was real. And our Julian insists that it's all just a bad dream, and now he does. Why not back then?
Well, Father claims the psychiatrist told the family not to challenge your story.
What does that mean? What does any of this mean? I mean, it's all so... What do you think, Ethan?
If you think what happened that night was real, then it was. I believe you, Sheridan.
I just wish I did. I mean, now I don't know what to believe anymore. Or who.
If it wasn't a dream, then who was the body under the sheet? And that's the question here. And who could that person have been?
Lobster's so expensive.
If anyone deserves to be treated to a nice dinner, it's you.
This is more than nice.
Yeah, it gives me pleasure to do things for you, to get you out of the house. I only wish I could do more.
Well, you do so much for everyone but yourself. I just feel terrible that you've had to put your life on hold.
It's not true.
Luis, I know you have dreams, and you've put them aside to shoulder the responsibilities of the family.
Well, you know, Papa left us. He disappeared. So it's my duty to take over as head of the family.
You're the best son a mother could ask for.
Look, I love you and Teresa and Miguel, so it's not a responsibility. It's simply the way it is.
I don't know what we would do without you, Luis. Losing Martin was hard enough.
That's why I hate the Cranes.
Luis, please.
You know, I know that they had something to do with Papa's disappearance, and I will not rest until I find out what it is.
Don't be mad at me, Sam, but I can't stop thinking about Charity.
I could never be mad at you.
I think I'm gonna call home.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, then call. But after that, no more interruptions. I want to spend the rest of the evening showing my beautiful wife how much I love her.
Well, I like the sound of that. In fact, I like it so much that I'm not gonna call. I don't want anything to spoil this perfect night. Besides, if anything was wrong, Kate would call. And she really cares about her cousin.
I'm sure Charity is fine.
Now Charity will reveal your true evil.
This is bad for Tabitha. Bad. Capital B, bad.
What is it, Charity? What's wrong?
I think she thinks the word she spelled out is evil or something. I told you she was weird.
Is that it? You think the word you spelled out is evil?
Well, let's see what the word is.
Soon everyone will know what you are.
I would hold the hand of the one who could lead me places and kiss the lips of the one who could sing so sweet. And I would fly on the wings of a bird I knew could take me highest. Breathe in, breathe out. You keep me alive. You are the fire burning inside of me. You are my passion for life.
It's all right, Charity. We'll look at the word together. Charity!
There she goes, playing the victim again. I don't think so, Kate. It looks really serious. Yeah, a serious plot to get Miguel.
Kay, we need to call your mother. All right, where'd she say she was going?
The Lobster Shack. I'll page my mom, too. From the looks of it, Charity might need a doctor.
Good idea, Simone. Thanks.
Looks like she might need a doctor. Thanks a lot, Simone.
The girl collapsed, Kay.
I don't want you spoiling the evening I have planned with Miguel.
What evening?
If Charity goes up and sleeps us off, then I can spend the whole time with Miguel.
Your cousin has just had some kind of serious breakdown, and all you can think about is yourself.
I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about Miguel.
You're so far gone, you're beyond help.
Oh. Is there anything I can do, Miguel?
Thanks, Reese, but I don't know what we can do until Mrs. Bennett and Dr. Russell get here. Just pray Charity's gonna be all right.
Don't you know what you're doing? You're damaging Charity's mind, making her crazy. Soon she'll be so vulnerable she'll be like putty in my hands, so go ahead, keep it up. Won't be long before she's all mine anyway.
Who are you talking to, Tabitha?
I was just offering a little prayer for Charity.
Timmy's a good boy. Timmy's a good boy. Timmy's good. Timmy's a good boy. Timmy's a good boy.
Sam, I don't want to alarm you, but I just got an emergency page to call your house ASAP.
Well, Grace just went to take a call from Kay. Something must be going on.
Well, here she comes now. She looks very worried.
No, that was Kay. She said Charity became really upset and then she collapsed.
Well, let's get out of here.
I don't know who the body was. All I know is that I saw one and I had blood on my hands. Or did I?
You've got to try going easy on this, Sheridan.
How, Ethan? I mean, tell me how, and I will. I'm just so confused. I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know what to do. That night was so many years ago, and I've had to practically live my whole life with this eating away at me.
No.
You know, I remember when I first went to that mental facility in Paris. One of the first psychiatrists who saw me kept saying over and over that that night didn't happen, that it was just a dream. But I knew I couldn't believe him. Because to me, it all seemed so real. But now I can't help but wonder.
Because of what Father said?
Maybe. You know, I thought that I had finally reached a point in my life where I could almost forget about that night. But then I came back home to Harmony, and all those memories came flooding back to me. Every time I step into that living room, I keep living that night over and over.
You know what I hope? For your sake, I hope Father is right. I hope this was only a bad dream.
I hope that too, more than anything. But I have to know what happened. I cannot get on with my life until I know the truth. I just wish that there was someone who could give me the answers that I'm looking for. Wait a minute. There is.
Who?
The person who can help me is sitting right over at that table.
I wish you wouldn't think of the Cranes the way you do.
You mean realistically?
Luis, there is no proof that they had anything to do with Martin going away.
Look, the Cranes can afford to get rid of the evidence, cover everything up. That's how they operate.
I don't believe that.
I remember Papa talking on the phone to Alistair Crane the night before he disappeared. They were arguing. Now, I couldn't hear the words, but the conversation was tense. Papa was upset. Next morning, he went to work at the Cranes and never came back.
He was always under a lot of pressure to make more money. He had a big family to support.
Yeah, yet he still went away.
Your Papa loved us, and no man was more devoted to his family than Martin Fitzgerald. Never doubt that, Luis.
If that's true, he would have stayed with us no matter what the Cranes were doing to him. Now, something else happened, and whatever it was, it had to do with the Cranes.
Not necessarily.
Why? What do you think happened to him?
machinations, secret manipulations, plots and subplots are you and Alistair cooking up now?
I fear an evening of dramatics is coming on. This calls for reinforcements. May I fix you one?
What are you planning for Sheridan?
What on earth are you talking about?
Oh, I know you, Julian. I know when you're up to something. Still, it doesn't surprise me that you won't admit it. Even when you're caught with your pants down, you still try to lie to your wife.
You toss that word around so easily.
What word?
Wife? You haven't been a wife to me in years. I can't remember the last time you were in my bedroom except to take a shot at me.
Really, Julian. The gun was loaded with blanks. And as I recall, you weren't alone. The upstairs maid was with you, or was she the downstairs maid? Oh, well, whichever. She was very conscientious. Busy dusting under the covers.
I'm a passionate man. Needs and desires that I can't ignore. I don't think you can ignore them either.
Watch me. The truth is, I can ignore you completely.
I don't believe that for a minute. You see, I know beneath this ice princess facade is a sensual woman with a fire burning inside her, a fire I could ignite years ago.
And what was I thinking of?
Me. You were thinking of me.
You have always deluded yourself.
I know you don't love me. I have no delusions about that. But we satisfied each other in bed. We more than satisfied each other. Truth is, we still light up the sky. I haven't forgotten those nights, and you haven't either, have you, Ivy? You still remember. You still feel it, don't you?
You can't mean Luis. He hates our family. Not only that, he's a cop. Sheridan, you can't get the police involved in this. It would be a total disaster.
I'm not talking about Luis. I'm talking about Pilar. She worked for the family then. She knew what was going on. And she would never lie to me. Maybe if I ask her, she'll tell me the truth.
Well, how are you going to talk to Pilar if Luis is there? I mean, if he got the slightest hint of what we were talking about...
I know. That's why I thought maybe you could figure out something to distract him.
I don't know what happened to your father. The last memory I have of him is when he walked out the door that morning going off to work. I watched him as he left, and I had an uneasy feeling that something was troubling him. The way he spoke and he kissed me goodbye, it somehow wasn't my Martin. I asked him, but he just smiled and touched my cheek and said it was nothing.
He was hiding something.
He didn't want me to worry, but I did worry. And when he didn't come home for dinner, I just thought he was working late. He was always putting in so many hours overtime, trying to make more money for the family. But he usually called to let me know. This time he didn't. And when I hadn't heard from him by midnight, I really began to worry, and I called him at work.
Yeah, they said he wasn't there.
I stayed up the rest of the night, waiting for him, and he never came home. The next morning, I called the police.
I've read the file hundreds of times. The detective assigned to that case did a thorough investigation. He checked the hospitals, the morgue, he interviewed people. Came up empty.
The detective told me that sometimes certain people can't handle the pressure and they walk away from everything. But Martin would never do that. He loved us. And I know if he left, it was for a good reason, and that as soon as he could, he would come back to us. And he will, Luis. He only left because of his love for his family.
I don't know how you can cling to that dream, Mama.
Because your father and I were deeply in love, and I trust in our wedding vows.
Pilar? Luis?
Ethan.
Lobster Shack's a great place, isn't it?
It was till now.
What did you order, Ethan?
Good old New England scrod.
Well, enjoy it.
I was hoping I could have a word with you in private, Luis.
I'm having dinner with my mother.
Well, I apologize for interrupting, but I promise it won't take long.
Well, I'm sure it can wait.
Luis, just come and talk, please. I'll be fine.
Okay, I'll only be a minute.
Pilar? Sheridan. I hate to bother you, but I really need to talk to you.
Of course. Please, sit down.
Julian told me some things about what happened that night. I want to know the truth. I want you to tell me.
She kept pointing at whatever word she'd spell out, saying that's the evil. And then she fainted.
Oh, what could have happened to her? What is this evil?
I wish I knew.
You have no idea what the word was on their tile?
No, none of us saw it.
The game got knocked over in all the confusion.
Tabitha was standing next to Charity's tiles. Maybe she knows what the word was.
Did you see it, Tabitha?
She's back.
It's been too long, Ivy. Much too long.
Don't.
Do you remember what it was like when we were together? I remember every curve of your body. How you'd arch your back. Yes. I was against you had a man, Ivy. You can't go on much longer. Nor should you. You have needs. I can satisfy those needs, you know I can. Just let me make love with you like we used to. Say it. Say it, yes. Say it.
Yes.
It was all in my head. That's what Julian said. It was nothing more than a bad dream. But it seemed so real to me. And that's why I'm so confused. I need your help, Pilar. I need you to tell me everything that you remember.
Sheridan, I wasn't there that night. All I know is that the next morning when I came to work, you were still upstairs in your room. I was told by your family that you were not to be disturbed, that I shouldn't go near you. But I was so worried. I went anyway. I had never seen you like that. You were terribly upset, frightened to death. I could barely understand what you were talking about.
What did you understand?
You had seen a dead body under a bloody sheet. And that when you looked at your hands, they were also covered with blood. Then you became completely hysterical and you told me that you had killed someone.
Oh, God.
Before anything else could be said, Mr. Allister came into the room.
I remember Father coming into the room. I don't remember why. What did he say?
Oh, he was so angry. Your father told me that I shouldn't believe anything that you were saying. That you had had a horrible nightmare and that you were still very shaken by it.
You believed him?
I wasn't sure what to believe. You seemed to be so convinced that it had happened. I couldn't ignore what you were saying.
What did you do then?
I obeyed your father. Mr. Allister's not a man one defies, so I left.
You went home?
Not right away. I went downstairs first and looked in the living room. But there was no body, no coffin, no sign of blood anywhere.
So you changed your mind and agreed with Father that it was all in my imagination?
Oh, Sheridan. He used to suffer from horrible nightmares back then, and he used to sleepwalk.
I remember I used to have crying fits, and I would weep uncontrollably.
You were sad all the time. So sad. That's one of the reasons your father sent you to Paris.
The asylum.
My poor Sheridan. I was so worried about you. About what might happen if you were to repeat what you saw that night. So I made you promise that you would never repeat it to anyone outside the family.
And I haven't, except the doctors in Paris.
Mr. Allister told me that the doctor said that we should not challenge your story, that we could never mention it, that no one should ever know.
So they think I was either a murderer or a lunatic.
All I cared about back then was protecting you.
And now, Pilar, are you still protecting me?
No, I didn't see the word. I was too busy looking for one of my own. I wasn't paying attention.
So you didn't see Charity's tiles at all?
No. As I say, it was just so much confusion.
It's too bad, because her word may have explained what happened.
I guess we'll never know now.
Well, it might not have been the tiles that upset Charity.
Sweetheart, what do you mean by that?
Well, Grace told us that Charity was starting to have other memories about the fire.
That's true. She said she remembered hearing a dog growling and fighting with her mother. And then she heard a really scary voice, but she couldn't make it out because it was muffled.
Yeah, Grace told me. No, the odd thing is that your sister Faith never mentioned that they even owned a dog. What about Charity? Did she mention to you, Miguel?
No. Dr. Russell, is she gonna be okay?
Well, she's been through a terrible trauma, Miguel, so we have to be very careful with her. But her vital signs are good. She's breathing easily. I'm just gonna let her rest now. I'll give her a more thorough examination later.
Eve, I think she's coming too.
Charity?
What happened?
It's okay, honey. You're fine. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, but what happened?
We were playing the game and you spelt a word and then you got upset and you fainted.
Do you remember what the word was, Charity?
Remembrance of things past. Boston. Our attorney's office. He had a meeting down the hall. He left us alone in the room with the enormous faux Louis XIV's desk.
Oh. You'd better answer it. It could be Allister. And I know how you hate to disappoint Daddy.
Yes.
Are you still protecting me, Pilar?
No.
I want the truth.
I'm telling you everything I know. I would never lie to you, Sheridan. Surely you know that by now.
I do. I'm sorry. It's just that I'm so desperate to find out what really happened that night.
I see how this has affected your life and haunted you, and I can't help but feel that perhaps it would be better if you listened to your brother.
And believe it was just a nightmare?
Put the past behind you, Sheridan. Don't let it take more of your life than it already has.
I want to believe that it never happened, Pilar. More than anything, I want to believe. But I have to know the truth. I have to know what happened, no matter what it is.
You keep talking, Crane, but none of this is making any sense.
Oh, I was simply leading up to discussing my new position on the police board.
Yeah, couldn't this wait till tomorrow during business hours?
I thought since both of us were here...
Here with other people out to dinner.
Luis, you and I are going to be seeing a lot of each other in the future.
Oh, no, there's something to look forward to.
I don't want your feelings about the Crane family to affect our working relationship.
Haven't we talked about this before?
Well, did we?
What's this really about?
I told you, it's about my...
Now I get it. This was all a stall to get me away from the table. Typical Crane tactic. You have to go sneaking around.
It's not true.
You know what? Our discussion is over.
The word the tile spelled out. What was it, Charity? What is it that got you so upset?
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
It's okay, honey.
What's wrong with me?
Nothing.
Why don't I remember?
You're gonna be fine, sweetie. I just think you're overtired. I mean, don't you think that's it, Eve?
Well, I think a good night's sleep is definitely a good idea.
Come on, we'll take you upstairs to bed.
Can I do anything?
Yeah, stop worrying. We're gonna take care of you.
Charity, get a good night's sleep, and I'll come back and see you first thing in the morning.
I am serious about her head being out of whack.
Charity has had a rough time. She lost her mother in that fire.
She was a little flaky before that. I mean, we don't know anything about her.
She's sweet.
She could be crazy. I'm talking insane.
She is not.
Why are you defending her so much? You've seen how the slightest thing pushes her over the edge.
These are not slight things.
Wait a minute. That's it.
What is?
Maybe I have nothing to worry about after all.
What are you talking about?
If she snaps, I mean really goes screwball, then my parents will have to pack her off to an institution. And she won't be around to mess things up for me and Miguel.
Let's take a look at those tiles. Good idea, Chief Bennett.
Whew, getting a bit close in here. Think I'd just better step outside for a moment, get some fresh air.
Princess!
Oh, Timmy. Oh, you nearly scared me half to death.
You're scared? What about Timmy? The light, the angel? She's back.
Don't you think I know that? Don't you think I'm on to her? Her and her little games. Well, that's it. I'm not playing anymore. Do you hear that, little girl? No more games. You just stay away from me. I'm not going to let you drive me crazy. I'm not.
Princess.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Princess. Come home with Timmy. Timmy will make you a nice pitcher of martini.
I can't leave now.
Why not?
Because those nosy Parkers in there are sorting through those damn tiles, trying to come up with a word that freaked Charity out.
She said it was evil.
Ugh, that pathetic little wimp with that soppy butter wouldn't melt smile. Huh. Well, I wiped it off her face.
What was the word? It wasn't F-L-U-F-F-Y, was it?
What?
If there's anything that's pure evil, it's that damn cat. She's made Timmy's life a living hell.
Oh, no, it wasn't Fluffy.
What was it? What could have upset Charity so much and freaked you out?
Because it was my name, you nitwit.
Yes, we've got it.
Oh, no. They figured it out. Oh. Did you hear that, Timmy?
They found the word.
My name. What am I going to do?
Run! Let's go, Princess!
Hide.
Could you come back in here, please?
Oh, of course. So, what seems to be the trouble?
We all picked out our own letters, then we reestablished the words that we had already made.
And I have to admit, I did get a look at your tiles, Tabitha. I mean, it was an accident, so I was able to take out your letters, too.
So what was left were the letters that Charity was using.
Oh.
Now we just need to figure out what the word was. We've been moving them around, but we can't seem to come up with anything that makes any sense. I thought maybe you'd give it a try.
What's that all about?
Sheridan and I were talking.
About what? Now, why did Ethan have to come up with some dumb idea to get me away from the table? And what is it that you and Sheridan were talking about that she didn't want me to hear?
So many questions.
Well, it had to be something important for her to come all the way over here to talk to the help.
Louise, you have to stop this. You mustn't be so hard on Sheridan. She's had a very difficult time.
Yeah, I know. Deciding what color nail polish to wear to match your Ferrari, I mean, that can really eat away at you, you know?
She's a very good person. It wasn't easy for her losing her mother so young. No amount of money can make up for that. Now, I know the two of you haven't hit it off, but she did a very nice thing for you.
What? When?
Did she not stand up for you against the mayor and her brother?
Look, she's the one who threw those pies at me in the first place, and she's the one who could have cost me my job.
Louise, she didn't have to say anything, especially considering the animosity between the two of you, but she rose above that. She helped you.
Yeah.
Did she or did she not come to your defense?
She did.
All right, then I think there's something you need to do.
What?
The same thing I want all my children to do, the right thing. But it must be the right thing as you see it, not what I think it is.
You still look upset. What did Pilar say?
All she knows is what I told her about what happened that night.
That's it?
Apparently, Alistair impressed upon her that it was nothing more than a nightmare.
And she believed him.
Well, she went downstairs and found nothing. No body, no traces of blood, nothing. And since she wasn't certain whose story was the truth, because there was no evidence, she promised that she'd never say anything. She never will.
Oh, thank God. I love Pilar, but her son's a cop who has it in for our family.
He's already suspicious that I'm hiding something in my past.
We can't risk Luis or anyone on the police force getting wind of this. Body or no body, you'd immediately be accused. They'd drag your name through the mud.
All I want to know is the truth about what happened that night. I just wish Pilar had known something more.
Don't worry. I'll find the answer and I'll help you. Do you want to go? I'll get your coat.
Let's see. Before we were so rudely interrupted, I think we were about here.
Don't even think about it.
Ivy, we were so close.
Don't touch me.
You're right. The spell is broken, the magic's gone. It'll return, though, dear. Our time will come.
Hold your breath.
It's only a question of time. How long do you think you can live without a man in your bed? It won't be long before you break down and come knocking on my door.
Has it occurred to you, Julian, that I am waiting and will continue to wait for the right man?
Oh, that's a good one, Ivy.
Go to hell, Julian.
Oh, it's me or no one, baby. If you even ever think about hooking up with another man, I will divorce you so fast that you will be out on the street on your overly massaged derriere. You'll have nothing. Even your beloved Ethan won't stand by you if you're unfaithful to me. You'll lose everything.
You're so wrong, Julian. You won't take anything away from me.
What is it? What have I done now?
Nothing. Look, it's just that there's been something that I've been meaning to tell you, and
Yes?
well, it was pretty decent of you the way you talked to the mayor and your brother, and I appreciate it. That's all.
You're serious?
Yeah.
You're actually thanking me?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, but this doesn't change the way I feel about you or your family. You were the one who got me into the problem in the first place, okay?
You know, you should just quit while you were
No, you know what? You should have quit while you were ahead.
Hey, I meant what I said. Yeah, here we go, fighting again. Luis. You're welcome.
All right.
That's it.
What? What's that look on your face? What are you up to now?
I just figured out what I'm gonna ask my parents for Christmas. A dog.
A dog?
Yeah, a big dog that I can teach things to. Like how to growl.
You're a mean woman, you know that, Kay?
Maybe I could even train it to sit outside Charity's room at night. Scratch at the door. Grrr.
Oh, that is so demented.
But it could be effective. It could be just what I need to push old Charity right over the edge and into the loony bin.
No, that's even worse. But the idea that you're thinking about it, that's terrible.
We all know that she's a nut, screaming about evil all the time. In a way, I'd be helping her. I mean, the sooner she gets professional help and gets committed to some kind of asylum, the better off she'll be.
Typical Kay, always thinking of others.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, nothing. We were just concerned for poor Charity.
I just wish I understood what was going on with her, Eve. I mean, all this evil that she keeps talking about. I mean, what do you make of it?
I don't. But it's obviously something coming back from Charity's past.
You know, it reminds me of what the little girl was warning me about.
There's great evil at work, Grace. You must be on your guard.
Faith warned me about evil, too. But what could it be? I mean, what could be so evil?
Well, any luck yet, Tabitha? Have you figured it out?
Well, this is the only thing I could come up with.
Habitat? I don't understand why that word would upset Charity. I mean, it's got to be something else. But what?
I've no idea.